Everybody out there, we are pumped today to have Donny DiDonatis. He's the CEO of USSSA, also known as United States Specialty Sports Association. So USSSA baseball, softball, mega diamond sports event provider. Thanks for joining us today, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking about some positive things going on.
You know, people are getting back on the diamonds, and that is good news. So, you know, you guys have thousands and thousands of teams and players across baseball, fast pitch, slow pitch. Let's first talk about how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected all of this?
Well, like so many other businesses, obviously we really start to get going end of March, beginning of April, just because, we have the opportunity to start playing in the majority of the states, with weather. Me being from Michigan, generally April is kind of when we hope to start playing. It could be 80, it could snow, you never know. But so the timing of it, yeah, like everything else, it was tough. We had trying to prepare for the unknown and plan. Having to furlough employees at our national office and just kind of work through, these last few months. It's been a challenge to say the least, but, the good news is that, we're back to some kind of normalcy and have been, at least from our facility standpoint. So again, I'm not saying everything is back to normal because it's going to take a while. Obviously, there is something. Normal is going to look a little different. And it's going to take, a lot of people more than just a few months to get back on your feet and kind of, feel like everything's clicking like it was prior to it. So, but yep. I feel like we're being proactive and making necessary changes and getting back on the field early and safe, which is the most important thing.
Totally. So I know, we spoke about it, and you had your first tournament down there in Viera Memorial Day weekend. So, USSSA, you guys are everywhere. It's, people are following your lead. So when that thing went down and you proved that you could run a safe, fun tournament, that had to feel great, right? And people were noticing from everywhere. It's almost like you were a trendsetter right there.
Yeah, we were definitely at the forefront of getting back out there. Our facility here it's set up to accommodate a lot of the changes that we had to make. We're sitting on 80, 85 acres. There's 15 fields. The dugouts are big league type dugouts as far as spacing goes. So from a social distancing standpoint and some of the things we are capable to do here, made the challenge and transition probably a little easier than most regular facilities. So yeah, I knew all eyes would be on us. I knew we were under a microscope. Like I said, we had media from the New York Times to the Washington Post to Good Morning America interviews, obviously a lot of local coverage. So all eyes were on us. I knew that was going to be the case. But to your point, I was confident we could execute and get everyone back in a safe manner. And, so far, knock on wood, 6-7 weeks later, everything has gone really well. And like you said, people just dying to get back out here. It was, show up the first time 70 baseball teams, were here that Memorial Day weekend just to see and feel the buzz back in the air and just people taking a deep breath of kind of what probably took for granted. I know I took some things for granted and taken away from you abruptly. It kind of changes your perspective. So yeah, it was awesome, man. Very positive, and just to be able to be a small part of hopefully getting people's lives back to, to normal and feeling good. It goes back to the why of I love doing this job and I'm in it, is to provide opportunities and platforms for kids starting at the age of 4 till adults till they're 80 in our seniors program, to have them an opportunity to play and do what they love to do, no matter what level you are, and that's what we did, and it was awesome to see.
It's good stuff, man. And everybody wants to be back on the field. It's so important to build team chemistry, team camaraderie, sportsmanship, and most importantly, to have fun. Like you said, from age 6 to 86, you've got so many different groups of people playing USSSA events. Tell us a little bit about the challenge of, that's a wide, variety of people that you have playing. Tell us some of the changes and differences between a youth event versus a senior event and what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, I mean, the safety guidelines really stay consistent as far as what we expect, and what we do. Obviously, on the youth, and the first few weekends were youth related. It was baseball and fast pitch. Like we made some basic changes that prevented crowds and exchanging of cash. We completely went away with our box office, so nobody could purchase a ticket on site to avoid lines there and cash exchange. Everything went online. Our regular concessions we did not do and still have not actually. We'll probably start those up in the next week to two. Set a few food trucks out there spread out. And then just the main thing of cleanliness, sanitate, hand sanitizer stations in each and every dugout. In all the bathrooms, having extra staff out there, cleaning the benches. I mean, we had markings off for social distancing, allowing chairs and tents and people to bring stuff in, as in the past we have not. So just kind of adjusting along those lines, it made it a lot easier in the transition. And just making people feel safe. And like I said, just from a scheduling standpoint, normally we would schedule, let's say for baseball, all 15 fields running. We'd schedule all 15 fields going 2 hours apart. We kind of initially only had 3 fields going per quad. Spread it out 2.5 hours to, just to space out, to have time to clean, to make people feel, safe. So a lot of that stuff from a scheduling standpoint and then logistical standpoint, for the most part, like I said, the rules and guidelines are the same. The adults, obviously, it treated a little bit different. So some of the challenging to try to maintain social distancing from our staff's perspective was, a little more difficult to kind of stay on them. Whereas the youth, seemed like they were a little more, a lot easier to follow the guidelines, if that makes sense. So, yeah. And for us, like I said, we're open now in some capacity in 30 states. We're running baseball's fast pitch on the youth level, and then, adult slow pitch. So, I mean, again, we're not running at full capacity throughout all the states, but the fact we're running in that many, is a testament that we've done a great job, in my opinion, of getting back out there and being the leaders in the industry and taking kind of that on, And the challenge, to your point, has been you're dealing with so many different. I mean, it's not just state by state. You got to start going county by county into the cities. Yeah. You have facilities. So there's so many variables where we're playing right here in our county, and in one county over, they still haven't started playing. So again, just kind of, it's just a lot, and we deal in such a high volume. So working through all those challenges logistically and being able to communicate, it's been a lot, but I feel like we've done a great job overall.
I would second that. You guys are doing a great job. And, I'm way out here in California, and we have a lot of my friends, they've got teams, and they're traveling to U-Trip tournaments in Arizona or Utah or wherever they have to go play. So it's great that it's coming back. 30 states is a lot, and dude, it changes every day right now. So it's got to be challenging. You mentioned, things may never be normal like they used to be. However, the game stays the same. The game you and I love, right? Like, the game's the same. 90-foot bases, 60-foot 6 on the mound. Like, it is what it is. Are the umpires? Have you had to change the way that umpires work? Are they behind a mound, or are they behind the plate still?
In various states, kind of started with different, we didn't mandate you do it one way or another. For the most part, and I know as of now, like, the umpires are in the position they would generally be in. Like, one of my things that kind of I was big on, and, we had a return to play, task force that kind of, they just lived and breathed this for 3 months. I mean, so they did a phenomenal job. And obviously just taking in all the questions, and, a lot of stuff would come back initially like, hey, we got to sanitize the ball after every half inning. We have to have, like, I didn't want to affect the integrity and way the game's played. I wanted it to be done in a very safe manner, but, kind of what you're saying, like, I just thought if we were to that point, like, then I don't feel like it's safe enough to be out there, if that makes sense. So
I get it.
We've been fortunate enough, again, I think that to play the game the way it's been made to be played now. Again, how people sit in their dugouts, and, no more water coolers in dugouts. And there's a lot of those kind of things, just handshaking and high-fiving, and umpire coaches meetings before games look different. So there's a lot of, like, little details that we have changed, like you said, and it might probably going to be the new normal for a long time. But as far as the game itself, I'm proud that, we've kept that the way it's meant to be played, and that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
I think that's why people love going to USSSA events, man. As far as like volume, so like, what are you seeing? Baseball versus fast pitch versus slow pitch, in terms of play and like how people are traveling and how many teams are out there. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I can say from a local standpoint, and I've talked to, 10, 15 directors from different states, and the local tournaments, there's not enough fields right now, because if people had 40 fields, they'd have 300 teams. So the demand locally, and when I say locally, it's even within a 4 or 5 hour span. People are playing even the numbers are even larger than they were, just because, again, I think the demand of people wanting to get back out there. From our perspective here in Florida, it's from a traveling perspective, these next 5 weeks are kind of our main time of when there's week-long events, World Series type events, nationals, where, teams kind of build their season to get to. On the baseball side, by looking at the amount of teams and where they're coming from, still coming from California, all over the country. I think we have our Elite World Series in ages 9 through 12, where we have 124 teams from 28 different states. So from a baseball perspective, people are still traveling and getting on planes. I would assume they're not driving from California, but, and on the fast pitch side, it's a little different. Numbers great on the weekend events. The nationals seem to be where they're more regionalized, to where it doesn't seem like people, again, just a small sample from our facility, but we're not seeing the same volume traveling. The amount of teams playing, yes. Traveling, no. So again, I don't know if that's just a small sample size and there's no coincidence to it, but the good news is people are playing a lot, and a good amount are still willing to travel. So I think that's a good sign, given where we were 2 months ago, even a month ago in some places.
Yep, I think it's coming. It's definitely coming back, and people are enjoying playing. And it's good you're running events. And we spoke before, you guys are still doing your Select 30 on baseball, Elite Select on fast pitch. Like, people like playing because they want to compete at the highest level. So it's good to hear that those high-end events are still going forward. So it's going to get them all out there.
No doubt. And that one of the statements I've made many times kind of got challenged through this, because I've made statements. It's not my statement, but just from talking to directors, like, I feel like almost, our business to a degree is, it's recession proof. Like it's we kind of, and when I was a lot younger then, but I was playing, slow pitch. And I remember 9/11 happened. And I'll never forget, like, sitting in a meeting with my dad with Disney, and we had a C and a D World Series slow pitch that started in 4 days at Disney. And, we obviously talked to the teams, and we had estimated that around 150 teams were going to show up and play, 4 days after 9/11. And the people from Disney looked at us like we were crazy. They're like, "Are you serious?" And sure enough, they showed up, and just, myself, my personal experience running baseball tournaments in Michigan, the economy hit a rough time, 2007, 2008, Detroit auto industry, like, times were rough there, and that was when I was making my livelihood solely on running baseball tournaments in Michigan. And I was concerned. Dude, those 2 years when it was at its worst, my numbers increased. So kind of my point through this, like, from what I've seen, at least on the youth level, and really even on adult, but definitely for the youth, like, parents are going to find a way and cut out every other thing if they have to have that kid have those opportunities. And, that's been prevalent throughout a lot of different challenges in this pandemic. Obviously, I never thought we'd be dealing with this one, but early indications are at some degree that, we are moving in that direction. There's still a long ways to go.
Totally. Yeah, I got one of my friends, Jeremy Huffman, one of your guys out here in Southern California. He's so frustrated because he can't run an event right now, but everybody who plays out here, they're driving 4, 5, 6 hours to go play.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So
yeah,
it's tough, but it's coming back, man.
No, for sure. Yeah. And hopefully, hopefully you guys can get back up and running, sooner than later. And, you know, I can imagine it's been, you know, it's been rough for a lot of people. And yeah, you know, you guys being as big of a state and just so the volume and amount of people who play in California, you know, to your point, yeah, a lot of them are traveling to other states, but hopefully you guys can get back, you know, open sooner than later as well there.
I think we're all watching what you guys are doing. We're all hopeful, and it's going to happen. And we'll be back, man. There's a reason people love sports. Everyone needs an outlet, and they've got to feel good about themselves. Donny, we appreciate your partnership with us. We love to be a partner with you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for keeping USSSA afloat and rolling and been strong. Last comments for everyone out there watching?
No, just again appreciate everyone's support and kind of, you know, willingness to you know, continue to be patient and you know, just support us, you know. And for those of you who don't, like, that's one of my things too. Like, this is the thing about USSSA. I want kids and people back playing, and if this opens up other competitors to get teams, all for it. Like, so that's the message at the end of the day. There's a big enough pie and people playing. I just want everyone to enjoy, to your point, what they love to do in their vice. So no, same, man. Easton is as good a partner as we have and has been for, you know, a long time. And we appreciate what you guys do and kind of using your platform to reach and vice versa. It's a partnership that works, and hopefully we continue to grow together and do good things for a long time. So we appreciate it on your end too, man.
Let's grow and let's play ball, Donny. USSSA. We'll see you soon, my man.
All right, be safe, man. Thanks for having me on. All right,
Bye.
take care.